the Rickey Henderson story.
The way I remember it is Dave Niehaus comes up to me and he's kind of chuckling and he says, "Hey, tell me if this is true. They say Rickey came up to you and asked you why you wear the helmet. And you said because you had aneurysm surgery when you were in college." And he said, "I played with a guy just like that last year." And you said, "Yeah, Rickey, that was me. I played with you last year with the Mets." He said, is there any truth to that?" And I go, "Wow, that's a good story. But no, it's not true." Next thing you know, ESPN is reporting it. Guys on the Mets team, they saw it reported on SportsCenter, and they just looked at each other like they couldn't believe it.
Jay Horwitz, special ditch of the amazing conversation. My friend of close to 30 years, John Olerud. John, what is this photo? Looking back, the memories. The best infield ever in history of Major League Baseball. You guys look a lot younger.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no. I crack up with that photo because it really makes me look like I'm a fun-loving guy,
Well, you are, John.
horsing around in the clubhouse, putting people in headlocks, all that kind of stuff. But that was the photographer thought that might be a good thing. Or I don't know, maybe Robin said something about it. But
Let me how does it play with these guys? Fonzie at second base. What kind of second baseman was he?
yeah, they talk about the best infield, and of course nobody questions Ray or Robin, but Edgardo, I feel like he should have won the Gold Glove that year
right.
too, because he had the least number of errors, and he just quietly went and made every play. And so, everybody was paying all attention to Ray and Robin and the great plays that they made. But Edgar did a heck of a job all year long.
How many bad throws did you get through the year from these guys?
Boy, I don't think I got very many bad throws at all. Robin, that was one of the things that was, surprising is, he'd throw the ball before I got to the base. And
Really?
And I'd look up and here's this nice, easy ball to catch. So he made my job easy. I think, all these guys did. That was the great thing about being on that team is that, they were so good. And I think that you don't realize how good they are until you play with them every day.
You know what the great thing about this photo? We were in San Diego. I got a call in the 7th inning. Sports Illustrated wants to put you guys on the cover. Could you get a photo assembled right after the game? I said, I'll try, but it's tough to do.
Yeah.
I went around each of you guys within 5 minutes. I think this picture took 5 minutes to take. And now it's what the way Sports Illustrated now, it's just a collector's item, and somehow I got it autographed too. It was hanging in my den. I'm glad I brought it in. I remember this about '99. The first year the Mets had gotten to the playoffs in 11 years, if I remember correctly. What do you remember about the last weekend? We were vying with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Arizona, and I think we swept the Pirates. And didn't we win the last game when Mike got a pass ball or hit by a pitch? It was a crazy at bat in the 9th inning.
No, I remember '98. We were close to making the playoffs, right. and we lost the last few games to just miss it. And we were having a great year in '99, and looked like we were gonna be in the playoffs for sure. And it was just a tough last week of the season where every game was really close, battling it out the whole way, and getting tough wins.
I remember we had to wait in the Diamond Club to find out where we would play, right? I think Cincinnati beat Arizona to qualify, and then we had to fly to Cincinnati. A couple of games. What do you remember about Al's one hitter against the Reds? Was it 2 or 1 hitter or 2? I forget. But
I don't remember exactly how.
I think we won 5-0. I think Fonzie hit a home run and Rickey Henderson hit a home run in the first inning.
Yeah. No, I remember that, waiting to see the result of the game, to see where we were going, and then it's a 1-game playoff game to make it to the playoffs, and then off to Arizona.
And Arizona, I think you had 12 RBIs in the 2 series, and then What do you remember about Todd Pratt's home run against the Braves? That was the deciding one. Remember, Finley went back to center field in his glove, out of his glove, and we wanted to say it was pretty exciting.
No, it was great. Todd, he was probably the most encouraging guy on the team, always pulling for everybody, and to hit that big home run, couldn't have been happier for him. I know. He had to do all these interviews after the game, so I know he wanted to celebrate with his teammates, but he had to go do all those.
That was
interviews.
probably my fault too. but then we go in the Braves series. We lost the first 3, came back in a historic win in Game 5, 15-inning game. You got a key walk in the 15th inning to load the bases. Pratt walked, tying run comes in, and then Robin hits the infamous grand slam single.
Yeah.
And he got probably more famous than if he just got a regular grand slam, right?
Right. No, well, I mean, and that just illustrates the point of, Todd and, what an encourager he was and all that he ended up tackling Robin, after he made it to first base.
Todd blamed it on Robin. He said most of Robin's home runs are these towering shots. This is a line drive, so he didn't think it was a home run. That was his excuse. But in Todd's defense, he wasn't the first one to jump on Robin's back.
Yeah. No, I just remember Robin waving for Todd to keep running.
Yeah. But it was pretty exciting time. Yeah. We almost pulled it off in the Braves series. We lost the lead in the 9th inning. That was a frustrating thing.
Yeah.
Listen, no offense to Robert Person at all, but when we traded Robert Person and cash to the Mariners for you after the 1996 season, probably the best trade in Mets history. Let me just read a couple of your stats. Highest career batting average, 315. Highest career on base, 425. 501 slugging. Highest career, 926. Highest regular season batting average, 354. Highest regular season OPS, 441. 125 walks, Mets record. You didn't do badly in New York, did you?
No, yeah, it was the best thing that happened for me. And, to be honest, I was scared to death to come here, when I got traded because, I just hadn't spent much time in New York. And it ended up being such a great experience. I got to work with Tom Robson, and he really helped me turn my swing around. And like I said, Cookie Rojas, he helped me become a much better defensive first baseman. So it was a great...
Win a Gold Glove?
I didn't win a Gold Glove with the Mets.
That's right, yeah.
But when I got to Seattle, I ended up getting...
John, how did you balance out 255 home runs with almost a 400 on-base percentage, almost a 300 batting average? How did you balance out the on-base, the walks, with the power still? How did you, in your mind, got going for you?
Yeah. Well, I think I was always... selective hitter, looking for a good pitch to hit, and that was it. That was what I focused on, was trying to get a good pitch to hit, not chase bad pitches. And I think that if that would be a knock against me, is that I was too selective. I took too many pitches. I didn't swing the bat as much as I should have. But I think it was just each at bat, trying to get a good pitch to hit it hard somewhere. I wasn't a home run hitter, so I couldn't swing for the fences. The home runs were a byproduct of taking a good swing and making good contact. So for me, really, it was trying to get my swing right, get a good pitch to hit, and then the results would take care of themselves.
He had a lot of cycles, multiple cycles. I don't remember, a lot of multiple cycles.
Two. Just two, but
that's multiple.
Yeah. Well, the triple was the the big challenge. Yeah.
John, let me talk to you about Ohtani. People don't realize you coming out of Washington State, your junior year, you hit well over 400, 15-0 Washington State. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Washington State. What do you before I get, how did you would you watch what he does? I mean, you were a great two-way player in college. You could have gone either way. 15-0 as a pitcher, way over 400 as a hitter. Do you marvel what he's doing on a professional level?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I haven't watched him a whole lot, but just a little bit of the highlights that I have seen. He's a dominant pitcher, strikeout pitcher, and he hits for power. he's a great hitter. So, I think that's kind of what it's got to take for a team to want to let somebody do both positions. Is you've got to be dominant in both aspects, your pitching and your hitting. Otherwise, they'll be more interested in one particular position and want you to focus on that one.
You came out of college. You went right from the college to the Toronto. Did you ever think of doing both things back then, or not really?
I think people would talk about that. Oh, you should get drafted by a National League team because then you can do both.
Right.
But my main goal was to make it to the big leagues.
Right.
So it's whatever the team felt like was my best path to get to the big league. That's what I wanted to do, and you have ups and downs in both positions. Pitching, sometimes, you're doing well and you think, well, maybe I'm going to be a pitcher. And then sometimes you stink and you go, no, I should probably be a hitter. And same way hitting-wise, where you go in a slump and go, well, maybe I'm going to be a pitcher. But
15-0 is a pretty good record. We hit over 400.
Well, and it helps being on a good team. I had a really good team behind me that scored a lot of runs, and that makes it easier too.
Yeah, let me talk about the NFL now is going to new protective helmets. You had your aneurysm after in your junior year in Washington State, right?
Yeah.
You wore a helmet on defense. Have you noticed at all? I'm sure people said stuff to you. What are you wearing that for? Do you follow what the NFL is doing now? What do you think of the end of protection for concussions and stuff for a different kind of helmet?
Yeah, no, I've heard that they're going to be making some changes with helmets or give players options for more protective helmets. I don't know what that looks like, and probably won't see it until next year. During games and that sort of thing. I think it's a good idea. Any safety thing. Football's obviously a lot different than baseball. I wasn't hitting my head.
Right.
On every play like you do in football. So I think it's a good idea, but yeah, and you're right. When I played, I was the only guy wearing a helmet out in the field, and so I was sort of a lightning rod for comments from the fans.
Right.
and that sort of thing. But you're trying to do what's best for yourself and what the doctors recommend.
You were a victim of one of my practical jokes, but back when I was younger and less mature than I am now, the last day of a season, I would make these cockamamie notes on the see what I get people to believe. So you and Kelly, your wife, your lovely wife Kelly, used to go to a lot of plays.
Yeah.
So I wrote in a note that John Olerud has set a team record. He's gone to 137 plays this summer. I remember after the game was over, a couple of guys went to the locker room. John, what was your favorite play? You went to over 100 plays during the summer. How'd you manage that? And you were nice and very gracious enough not to get mad and pass it off like you usually do. But
Yeah.
You did a job. You liked the Broadway shows when you were here, right? I mean,
Yeah, no, that was one of the things, when we came to New York, is that, my wife encouraged us to live in the city and, take advantage of the opportunities of shows and different cultural things in the city. And so we tried to do that when we had the opportunity. And you guys were great in helping us get tickets.
Right.
And so, yeah, maybe we did it a little too much.
John, you didn't go to 137 shows. I could promise you that. What was it like to play for Bobby V?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked playing for Bobby. Playing in the National League with the pitcher hitting, there was just a lot more going on defensively. And Bobby tried to get extra outs by running plays and bunt defenses and different ways, running pickoff plays to try to get that extra out. And so that made it a lot more fun on defense as opposed to the American League where it felt like a lot of the times you were waiting around for a ball to get hit to you.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of bunting, wasn't a lot of hit and run. So I thought it made it a lot more interesting.
I'm going to screw it. I want you, if you could tell the fans the Rickey Henderson story, please. I'm going to screw it up. How it transpired and how it actually wasn't true.
Yeah.
Got a lot of traction.
No, yeah. The Rickey Henderson story is a story that I get asked by more people all the time, even people that aren't baseball fans.
Right.
I know that if they say, hey, I've got a friend that wanted me to ask you a question, I know it's the Rickey Henderson story, even before they start asking. But yeah, the Rickey Henderson story, I signed with the Mariners in 2000. Rickey, I think he got released from the Mets in 2000.
Right, yeah.
And then Seattle picked him up a month or two into the season.
Right.
And so the way I remember it is Dave Niehaus comes up to me and he's kind of chuckling and he says, "Hey, tell me if this is true. They say Rickey came up to you and asked you why you wear the helmet. And you said because you had aneurysm surgery when you were in college." And he said, "You know, I played with a guy just like that last year." And you said, "Yeah, Rickey, that was me. I played with you last year with the Mets." He said, is there any truth to that?" And I go, "Wow, that's a good story, but no, it's not true." And so I denied it at that point. I thought I was done with it. And so, you know, next thing you know, ESPN is reporting it. It's been in the
Was it
paper.
Sports Illustrated?
Or I don't know
Yeah,
where,
was it
but
Sports Illustrated?
what I heard was that guys on the Mets team,
Scott Larson.
they saw it on reported on Sports Center, and they just looked at each other like they couldn't believe it.
Scott Larson, one of our trainers, very crazy sense of humor. And he started the rumor.
Yeah.
And Sports Illustrated picked it up, you know.
Yeah.
So
No, he you know, he actually, because it got out of control, he called me at All-Star break that year and apologized and said, "Hey, I'm just clowning around, you know, with the guys. Thought it was going to be stay in the clubhouse, but obviously it."
So
became
with
a
your
big story.
Toronto, I perpetrated a joke too. Spencer Horwitz is a minor league player with the Blue Jays. I was the PR guy for Team Israel and WBC. I put out a tweet that he's my grandson. And the whole world picked it up. Front page news at Tel Aviv Times. When we got to what's it, Martinez, the manager, the old manager,
Buck Martinez.
Buck Martinez. They ran with it in Toronto. We got calls, and I just made it up. I just made the whole story up. And kids are good. I think he's in AAA right now. But so you gotta have fun.
So now you're having to deny it. Maybe that's your story that's going to keep going.
We got so many retweets from that. It was unbelievable. You know, I mean, the amount of retweets, and, you know, it's big. And Spencer always, you know, Jay's a good guy. He's a good guy to have as a grandfather. And we just kept that going for years and years.
Yeah.
You've been, you know, live out in Washington State, John. I know you lost a daughter, Jordan, a couple of years of blood illness. What are you and Kelly doing to raise awareness for that? I know you have a foundation in her name.
Yeah, when Jordan was born, we started the Jordan Fund, where we try to help out special needs kids and their families. You know, as far as awareness goes, you know, it's kind of been word of mouth. You know, we you know, kind of the hospitals, also some of the therapy places that we went to with Jordan that we thought were really good, birth to 3 programs, little bit therapeutic riding, therapy places, that kind of thing. So those places know that we're there to help out special needs kids and their family. But yeah, we haven't you know, done a PR campaign.
If somebody wanted to contribute, how would they do that?
Probably the best way would be to go to the website, www.jordanfund.org.
Right.
And, you know, there's a donate page there. You can read about, you know, what we're trying to do and that kind of thing. But that would probably be the simplest.
John, this is actually your second trip back to Citi Field?
Yeah, we took a family trip when the kids were younger to come to a ball game, kind of show them where we lived in the city, and then you know, take them to a ball game, that kind of thing. So yeah, second time here.
You know, Joe, you and I were actually in the same place in Clemson, South Carolina this fall. I didn't know it. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. I love Touchdown Jesus and everything. So I was sitting in the stands with my friend Linda and Barbara, and I said, remember, Al Leiter said to me, his daughter goes to Clemson. Why don't you call him? Maybe he's here. Nah, he's not going to be here. And I said, maybe, I think John Olerud's daughter goes to the game, Clemson. Now, why waste it? They're not going to be here. I saw Al about 3 weeks later. Both you and your daughter were at the game.
Yeah.
And Clemson beat Notre Dame, which I was not happy with. That day.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Talking to you, that's how I found out Al's daughter was going there. Is because you were trying to line up an interview for me, and I said, "Oh, I'm moving my daughter into Clemson. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'll be able to work it in." And you said, "Hey, Al's daughter's moving into Clemson too. You should give him a call." So
I'm sitting like a moron. I feel like a moron sitting there in the stands. Both my good friends in the game. I never called them.
Yeah.
But look back in '99, 25 years. You know, pretty good team, a breakthrough. What do you remember most about that team?
You know, I would say the thing that I remember most about the team is just the quality of guys on the team chemistry that was there. Just great group of guys. You know, everybody pulling for each other. Just the camaraderie was pretty unbelievable. So I would say that. You know, and definitely, you know, being a part of that infield. You know, I remember plays that. You know, I remember play where Robin fielded a bunt, guy, real fast runner. Bunt for a base hit, and usually you can tell when they lay down the bunt whether it's going to be a hit or not, and he laid down the perfect. And so I was getting ready to come off the base to tell Robin, don't waste a throw.
Really?
And he came flying in, one-handed it, threw it to me, and we got the guy by more than a step, and it was like, oh, holy cow.
I remember Ray
with these guys, I better just go to the base and not try to help him.
I remember Ray with the fly ball. Nobody better going back on the fly balls than Ray.
And I would say the thing that I remember too about Ray is nobody put a tag on a guy better than Ray. You know, the throw would come in, short hop Ray, and he would catch it on the way to making the tag. I'd never seen anybody do it as well as Ray did, and it was just fun because you go to the base, you hear the stadium, everybody go, oh, and I turn around and here's Ray, getting ready to give me a nice throw. And I go, what happened? Oh, it took a horrible hop and he just snatched it.
Yeah.
So it was definitely.
I just remember going to SI photo for a second. We did that in 5 minutes. I didn't know it's like the 6th or 7th inning in the game. You guys were great, and something I keep in my house for good. Hey, John, been a good friend all these years.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you again, and keep coming back to visit Citi Field.
Yeah, thank you,
John.
Joe.
Appreciate it,
Thank
John.
you, Jay.